Hey folks, Brian Blessing, VegasInsider.com, coming to you from Las Vegas, fired up for the NFL Divisional round of the playoffs. The opening line report, we've done it all year long. We love doing this, get you the opening number, tell you where we think the number is going to go. When you bet sometimes is as important as who you bet. Let's go. Dive right in. Saturday, first game, Rams at Green Bay, 4:35 Eastern time, 25 degrees and sunny at kickoff. That sounds like a day to go out and have a picnic up at Green Bay. So the weather doesn't look like it's going to be horrible. It's going to be cold. Rams indoor team, Southern California. It's not going to be easy. Don't get me wrong. Total on the game is 46.5. I think it's a correlated deal here. You think the Rams are in this game, it's low scoring. They cannot get involved in a track meet with Aaron Rodgers. They beat Seattle 30-20. They terrorized Russell Wilson most of the season. And Aaron Donald did get a rib injury, which they say he should be able to go. And you wonder how effective he'll be, but he is just incredible. That defense, do not sleep on them. Again, we'll talk about the marquee matchup. Devontae Adams going against Jalen Ramsey. Rams are going to have to win the turnover battle. The Packers coming off the shelf. Don't forget their breakout star, the tight end Robert Tonyan, 52 catches, 586 yards this year, and 11 touchdowns. And by the way, don't sleep on the Packers running game. That thing really started to find its groove the back end of the season. They're the top seed for a very good reason. And home field advantage is a big deal. Not so much because of fans, but because of the weather. Let's see if Cam Akers can have another big game. He had 28 carries for 131 yards, 1 touchdown. Who will the quarterback be? Wolford, scary, in the ambulance, going to the hospital, got the stinger. They say he might be good to go. Goff was able to get out there and play with screws in his thumb. The defense has got to come up big here. They've got to shorten this football game. But never say never. All that matters is survive and advance. All right, we go to Saturday night, and that's Orchard Park, Western New York. Baltimore, because Cleveland upsets Pittsburgh, gets sent to Western New York to take on the Bills. Buffalo opens 2.5, minus $1.20. Total on the game, 49.5. Weather forecast a week out, 30 degrees, snow showers for the night game in Buffalo. It's right off the lake in the snow belt, so it can get goofy, but it doesn't sound like it's horrific. And how about the running display that both these quarterbacks could put on in this game, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen? Jackson, 16 carries, 136 yards, the win at Tennessee. A 48-yard touchdown run included in there. And the defense for Baltimore, they held Derrick Henry to 40 yards rushing. Pretty remarkable. The other weapon they had on this day was Marquise Brown, had 7 catches for 109 yards. But listen, watch out for Mark Andrews in this game because the Colts tight ends gave the Bills fits. And I'm going back to a game these two teams played a year ago, December, when Jackson was terrorizing the league. Baltimore won the game 24-17, but the Bills maybe gave a bit of a blueprint how to slow him down. They held Jackson to 40 yards rushing. He did throw 3 touchdowns. One was 3 yards, one was 4 yards, and one was a long touchdown, a 61-yarder to the tight end at the time, Hurst. So the tight end could be a very big deal here for Baltimore, game plan-wise in this game. And for the Bills, they want Lamar Jackson in the pocket. And they've got the sneaky, crafty safeties in Hyde and Poyer that hope they can create turnovers. This should be fun. Josh Allen in the win over Baltimore. Let's cut to the chase. The Bills were fortunate. Colts dropped passes. Colts missed the chip shot field goal. Frank Reich burned 2 timeouts for no reason. Could have been useful at the end. He went for a touchdown instead of a field goal. But the Bills found a way to win a close game when they didn't play their best. But Allen played really, really good. He and Diggs on the same page. And watch out, Antonio Williams, an undrafted, who? Antonio Williams. Moss, the running back, hurts his ankle, is not going to be able to go. Singletary's going to get the lion's share of the carries. This kid, undrafted rookie out of North Carolina, shows up in week 17 off the practice squad, had 63 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns against the Dolphins in a blowout loss. This kid could have a say in how this game turns out, actually. Fun game. Total on the game is 49.5. I think both of these teams go up and down the field on each other. I think you're going to see some points. Obviously, watch the weather forecast. And by the way, how about that draft class now? You know, you got Aaron Rodgers. We get it. He's the he's the old guard now. But this weekend, you've got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and then we turn to Baker Mayfield for Cleveland. Those guys coming out of that draft. You still see what happens with Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold were the other 2 first-rounders. But that draft class is looking pretty salty right now. Let's go to Sunday, 3:05 Eastern. Cleveland's at Kansas City. 9.5 is the opener. The total's 55.5. 49-37. Browns beat the Steelers in one of the weirdest games you'll ever see. First play of the game, Steelers snap it over Roethlisberger's head. Touchdown Browns, blink of an eye, 28-0 Cleveland's up. Then they took their foot off the pedal. They started burning clock, and it's hard to get it going again once you take your foot off the pedal. And they were actually in trouble for a while. Had Tomlin gone for the 2 to cut it to 11 instead of kick the extra point, and then 5 minutes later, 4th and 1 from his own 40 at the start of the fourth quarter, when Cleveland was a basket case, he punts, Cleveland goes down, scores. Then the game goes like this. It was crazy. Cleveland, can they get involved in a shootout and survive against Kansas City? They may be one of the teams in this league that could do that. Landry's been really good. You've got Chubb. You've got Hunt. They've got weapons. They've got some grit. They've got some moxie. KC's rested. Hill, Kelsey, and the lot, Mahomes. They didn't play in Week 17, lose to the Chargers. But buyer beware, the total, 9.5 aside, I think it may go to 10. But don't forget, KC, although this is the playoffs and you don't clown around, KC won virtually every time they took the field this year. But they burned your money. They did not cover spreads. They were an ATS train wreck down the stretch. But they're a really good team. They're the odds-on favorite, obviously, to get to the Super Bowl and win the whole thing. But it's Cleveland that shows up in here. They probably thought they were playing the Baltimore-Tennessee winner. Should be a fun game. Let's see if the Browns can keep the Cinderella story going. Then the get-out game, 6:40 Eastern, Sunday night, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. It's the 3rd time they're playing, and the Saints have won both these games. Don't forget opening night, 34-23. That was a spot Brady knew, figuring out his team. Saints sick of hearing about Brady. That was a bad spot. And then they played again. And the game in Week 9 was a disaster for the Bucs. 38-3, the Saints won that game. Brady threw 3 picks. No touchdowns in that game, obviously. So we throw the old cliche at you. Hard to beat a team 3 times in a football season. Tampa can hang their hat on that. They had a hard time with Heineke and the Redskins, but the offense got the job done in that game. 22 of 40 for Brady. 381, 2 touchdowns. That was a fun effort by Heineke, and the Redskins made it more than interesting. But think about this Tampa Bay team now and what the weapons that Brady's got. Fournette had a good game, 93 yards rushing, and a touchdown against the Redskins. But the wide receivers now, Evans, Godwin, bring Antonio Brown in, who is now a focal point of the offense. That's a pretty solid trifecta of wide receiving talent. And don't forget about Gronk and Brate in the red zone. So you look at this total here, 51.5. I think there's a total when Tom Brady's involved. It's Brady in the over, so this total could go up. Saints open 3.5 even. I think there will be Brady money. You'll see 3s. It could close 3. So if you like the Bucs, get it now while that hook's out there. And I think the total will actually go up. And as for the Saints, they went against the Bears defense, did a good job of containing Breeze. But you know what? That's Breeze's game now. It's all underneath stuff, and then you bring Hill in, and they'll punch you in the mouth. 21-9's the final. That could have been a different game on that gadget play if the Bears dropped touchdown pass. That would have been a lot more interesting and a lot closer, and it was close. But Kamara's a stud. Michael Thomas caught a touchdown in the game. Other than Thomas, though, the wide receivers, Sanders is really a dink and dunk kind of guy. This is more of a punch in the mouth kind of New Orleans team this year. I think Brady will send the total up. The Brady-Breeze shootout everybody's anticipating. But I think both of these defenses might actually have something to say about this one. Here we go. It's the divisional round of the playoffs. 4 great football games. Opportunities to get to the championship game and then on to the big game. And it's been a fun season. There's your opening line report for the divisional round of the playoffs. Thrilled to be with you, as always, right here with great information all across the board on the site at VegasInsider.com.